Hey guys, Dr. Decks here. Thanks for joining us in beautiful Gig Harbor, Washington. We're here on site giving you a build update of our progress on this current deck project. Thanks for watching, and we really appreciate it if you click that subscribe button. 18% of you do, trying to get that to 99%. So we got a long ways to go, so it'd really help us out if you're watching this video and you don't subscribe to our channel. Hit the subscribe button. It's not gonna cost you anything and nobody's gonna solicit you for it. It's just a way for us to kind of keep track of who's following, who's not, and give us some analytics on it all. So thank you for that. All right, so since you've been here last, we have another addition to the deck. Yeah, what do you think of that? So we pretty much got our Stabila challenge done last time. We were adding a bunch of blocking. We have all of our blocking done. We have G-taped the top of the existing deck, and then we actually framed and built a completely another deck on top of that deck, which is all engineered. So if you're gonna build a deck like this, a monster, you gotta have good engineering, or you really need to know your math about lumber spans and weight and how long things will carry and tributary loads and how many inches on center you can be with your joist spans, and a lot of stuff goes into figuring that out. So I kind of know where I'm at with that, but it's always good to have somebody that knows the math, that's licensed and bonded for that, so that they can give you that information so you know that you're safe, right? What we did is we installed the posts, those two posts behind me on the upper deck. Then we took the machine and we hoisted a 6.5 or 5.5 by 14 inch by 20 foot pressure treated glulam beam onto the deck. We rolled it over, then we took a manual crank and we boosted that up another 9 feet on top of those posts. Then we took and put a 2x12 ledger on the house at the proper elevation, and then we hung all 2x12 joists. They span 15 feet from the house to the inside of the beam. Our deck's about 15'8" or so total, but the actual joist lengths were around 15 feet. And we went from the house and we hung it from the house, and then we actually raised the beam up so the joists were flush with the top of the beam. So we didn't do this like we did on the lower deck, we did it this way. Okay, what that does is it clears the elevation so that people have, the clients have a nice view without the beam hanging down below the joists. We double hung our joists in between the ledger of the house and the beam. Once that was done, we actually planed the tops of some of the joists to flatten things out to get it nice and smooth. And then we went ahead and we put a waterproof bladder. We installed that in the joist base. So that upper deck is waterproof, and we just finished the bladder on that. We have a little bit more taping to do, and we're gonna add our finished pieces of fascia. So one of the biggest challenges on this deck was the fact that on the house, there's two spots that the roof, there's a set of roofs that kick out on either side of that upper deck. So there's no way to possibly trim that deck where it dives into the corner of the house. On both sides, we had the same problem. So we had to pre-install our fascia boards onto the sides of our deck before we hung the outside joists on the outside of the deck. And that was a challenge. They were very heavy. They're 20 feet up in the air. And that's why we have this scaffolding set up. It's a safer way for us to get up and walk around and work around our side of the deck. All right. So now that those sides are on, then we had to add a solid surface for our Regal Ideas railing system, and then we had to add solid blocking from underneath to make sure our Regal Ideas pods had something solid to mount to. So right now the guys are installing some brackets that we need for our framing inspection, and I have made one of the planks that we need to install, because our fascia we haven't installed on the outside area of the deck yet. So that's what's next for me. So there's your update. That's where we're at there. And then I think today we're trying to get some closure to a few open items that we need to do for our framing inspection. And then we have a driveway full of deck boards that we need to figure out what we're gonna do with. I think some of those we're actually gonna get stacked on the deck in certain places. And then the rest of it we're gonna get stacked on the yard somewhere so it's out of the driveway so the clients can get around it. But besides that, it's just forging ahead and trying to get this done. I also need to get measurements today to order for my railing. So while I'm doing that, we might talk a little bit about the crystal rail system and how do I figure out what size glass we need, or maybe we'll do a subsequent video on that as well. So now you're caught up, let's get to work. guys, hey, Dr. Decks here. I navigated I commandeered the camera from Studio Man, and I'm gonna go up to the upper deck and show you guys what's going on up here. The waterproof bladder that we did, here's the bottom of it, but let's go top side. All right, so here's the upper deck with the waterproof bladder installed. And if you guys are interested in learning more about this, we actually have a masterclass that you can go to our website and sign up for and learn everything you need to know about waterproof bladders. Basically, there's a joist bay that tapers, so it's tight at the house, and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper all the way underneath this one, right up to the beam. There's a baffle in here that keeps things from getting wet on the inside. And then this is a return, so the water goes to here, drops into that, and then goes back this way into a gutter. That's what's going on. We're just finishing up all our tape, our waterproof membrane tape, and we still have to, once we get our deck laid, then we'll put up this siding and kind of seal up against the door, keep everything nice and dry. And then everything else is fascia, and then we're gonna soff it underneath the deck after that. All right, so I have all the parts made for the upper two pieces of fascia. We're doing a triple stack fascia detail on this particular deck, and we had to pre-install the sides of it because I think I already talked about this earlier in the video. We couldn't get to part of it because of the roof lines. So we're gonna go ahead and finish that fascia detail on the outside of the deck as well, just so it's done. Get it out of the way. We have one piece installed. We have a second one laid out. We're gonna put some face screws in it, some Cortex screws, and then we're gonna send that up and the guys are gonna install that, and then I just have to figure out our bottom fascia detail and how wide to make that and all that. So that's what I'm gonna be up to, and the guys are gonna keep installing and then start Cortexing the finish work. So it's very rare for us to actually trim a deck out before we lay the decking. But in this particular project, because of the two roof lines that come down next to the deck, and there's nowhere right in here for us to put fasteners, we had to like pre-hang the fascia. And because it's a waterproof deck, it added more complications to it. So to make sure we didn't have any leaks, we had to pre-install the fascia, and we did a triple stack so that there's the main piece that's flush with the framing. That got taped and waterproofed and bladdered and more tape. Then there's another piece of fascia above it that our deck boards will butt into like this. And then we have a lower piece below that. So it's 3 different levels, layers, and it looks really cool. All right, guys, thanks for watching today. That's all the time we have for you. So thank you for coming to our channel and checking it out. If you like what you saw, don't forget to click that subscribe button, hit that bell icon to be notified when we're putting out new content. Leave a comment below, and don't forget to like this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.